Ladies and gentlemen of YouTube, welcome to the GonzoEwok channel, with me Gonzo,
and me Ewok,
for another episode of
Geordie Space Program! Now today is a special recording session, isn't it, Gonzo?
It is for a number of occasions. First and foremost, if anybody follows us on Facebook and they've been following when we've been putting episodes up, we're recording in a slightly different place today, aren't we?
We are. We're recording on the PC that will mount the world at Gonzo's gaff rather than at my place.
How are you finding it so far, Ewok?
It's big.
It's fucking massive.
I mean, seriously, we've got Kate here that must be a good 2.5, 3 foot tall.
Yeah, it hardly fits under the desk. It's massive. I looked up the height and the width of it online. I was like, that'll be fine. It doesn't fit under the desk. It's mental. You keep stubbing your toes on it when you're trying to pass it.
Astute people will notice that there's different save games here than what's normal.
Yeah,
and that's because we've brought the save file over to Gonzo's. And if anyone ever wants to do that, to share a save file with somebody, it's dead easy. You go into your Kerbal Space Program directory. It's in Program Files, Steam Apps, Common, Kerbal Space Program, and there'll be a file called Save. It'll have your save game in it, and it'll have all your crafts in it as well.
All your progress.
There's no DRM or anything, and you can share it freely between people, so you can give people the ships that you've built or show them your cool stuff. So
I'm sure there is actually video series on YouTube where people are playing like an Iron Man mode and passing the save files around to see what somebody else can do to try and one up the last one.
So we've brought the Geordie Space Program over to Gonzo's place.
Yep, new computer, same old space program. That's probably a curse rather than a blessing, though.
We're going to have to skip ahead because it's the middle of the night and we don't like it when it's in the middle of the night.
No, okay then. Just to sort of set out the stall for this episode, at the end of the last episode, we had a slight incident with a dying beetle on the moon. We still have that contract and it's still active, and we're still confident that we can do this.
So we are going to be doing something very similar to what we did last time. But don't worry, it's not going to take as long. It's not going to be that long because we've got the basic design down. We're just going to do a slight bit of editing to the ship design to try and pucker it up.
Oh, there's a point. What flag? We haven't got a flag.
We don't.
Shit. Right, we'll sort that out after we've done this episode. And this episode will be a white flag. It's horrible symbolism, I suppose. But we will make sure that we'll get the flag on for the next one. I've got a copy of thing here.
You know, it's been 5 weeks since we played, so I can't remember what we called them.
Habitation module test was the one that were tweaked and put the extra bits on, and then it's called the big ass rocket. It's saved as a sub assembly.
So habitation module test.
Yeah, that's the one that we tried to send up in the last episode.
I know, we've added everything.
Right, cool. So we did talk. We've learned from the failure of last mission. So there's a couple of bits that we need to do here.
First of all, I want to get rid of that horrible atomic motor. So where's the atomic motor? That'll be the atomic motor. Yeah.
Take that off.
So I want to get rid of that and put something a bit better on.
Aye. Now, I mean, there's not a huge amount of fuel that this is going to have, but hope it's more just for bringing it down, really, isn't it? Oh no, this is transfer.
This is transfer, and the atomic motor was great and all. But the problem is, it was taking sort of 8 minutes to do a standard burn. And we don't want to keep you holding on that long. So
no, and it makes it.
I'm going to try and
makes it a pain in the arse when we're trying to edit down stuff as well. You'll have noticed the past couple of episodes. I mean, to be fair, Ewok's done a very good job with cutting bits and pieces out, but
it's kind of you to say so, but I really don't put a lot of effort into it, and it could be a lot better.
Well, it's one of them things. It just makes everything nice and smoother and nicer if we've got we've got as few of those as possible, really.
Right, now I hope that hasn't totally buggered the stage enough.
It probably will have done. Let's just double check. Yeah.
And that goes there. So we got all the solids.
Yep. And then
the bottom ones drop off, and then the side ones drop off, and the main engines fire.
Yeah. Then
that pops off, and that transfer stage fires, and then that pops up, and that's our landing stage. Cool. That's our landing stage. So you might want some legs on that. Yeah,
this is another thought that we've had. When we tried to flip the thing last time,
it went
as well coming down. It went horribly wrong.
It went horribly badly wrong, as I'm sure many people will know. So I want some legs on that.
It was entertaining. It was an entertaining failure.
But we don't want to do it again.
Yeah, it was still a failure. Yeah. Actually, just pointing out some other things as well. People probably have noticed that my sound probably sounds different as well.
Well, yeah, this is all your new fancy gear, isn't it?
Yeah, we're still a tiny channel, but we've got the equipment of a very, very big channel now. It's ridiculous. So we're recording on a new Blue Yeti microphone that my parents very kindly got us for Christmas. That was me Santa present. I noticed that it came up on sale, so was going to go for a Blue Snowball, which is a very good microphone. But at the time I was buying the Blue Yeti, it was only about 10 quid more expensive. So I was like, you know what, that would be really, really nice. So yeah. So hopefully let me know what you think of the sound anyway. We're still probably the next few episodes. The sound probably isn't kind of 100% exactly as good as we could get it, you know.
Yeah, so there'll probably be a little bit of tweaking goes on.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find a good place to put these that don't obscure the windows.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously that one can go there.
Yeah, you want probably something near the top, because for what we've got in mind, we need to be able to move that
What I might
top
just
bit
do
over.
is take them off because we've got enough solar panels.
What
Put
we're,
them there, and that's probably going to be fairly balanced.
aye. What we're trying to do here, ladies and gentlemen, you've probably already worked out from what Ewok's putting together. Those legs are going to come out, so we're going to land this thing like we would just land a big-ass lander on the moon. It comes down on the legs. The RCS that Ewok's just putting in there as well is really designed to just help to kind of push the rocket over onto its wheels once we're down and stable. Hopefully then we'll not pick up too much speed as things tip over, but we've still got the RCS just to help control that fall.
And yeah, we'll essentially land it a second time using the RCS.
Aye.
Right.
Should be okay, I think.
The one last thing I want to check before we go is the legs and how sort of rugged they are.
Oh yeah, the wheels.
So they've got crash tolerance.
That's bollocks, that, because we came down at like about 9 meters per second, and
it trashed them.
Although it might not have been the wheels per se, I mean they got trashed, but the back end exploded, didn't it? The engine hit the bottom and the fuel tank, and that's what exploded. Maybe that flung over, or maybe that made we hit the ground.
See, I was tempted to maybe put some legs on there, but should we just give it a go? It'll be a faff to try and put legs on that thing because it's not.
Yeah, it means having to copy things across to the space plane hangar to put them on the right way and then copy it back across. You know what? I think we should be okay with what we've got here.
And before we actually try and do the land, I'm going to need to practice the RCS movement to make sure I get the buttons right for what I want to do.
Cool. So do we want to quickly hop out and try that?
Yes, we do.
So we'll save it and then take off. All right. Are you just testing the actual RCS controls?
Yeah.
Right.
Albeit, we won't move because we're in a high gravity environment. But I just need to make sure I'm pressing the right buttons. So we'll go into docking mode and get the RCS on.
Ooh, misses.
Obviously, that's forward. That's backwards.
There. That's the one that we'll need.
Now that's a rotation.
Shite.
So those are rotations, forwards, backwards. It'll be left and right. That's not
the right button.
So what's up and down? The U brings the lights on. I didn't know that.
That's quite clever.
So I thought it was.
You might want to put the brakes on. We are rolling backwards slightly. Don't want to just tip this thing off the end of the launch pad.
I thought it might have been U and H and N or for some reason.
It's kind of it mimics WASD, doesn't it? But it puts it. Is it like I, J, K, and L?
No.
No. Well, that is a concern. Bear with me, ladies and gents.
You can't access the controls from here.
Shonky.
This is the kind of thing that we always say, we should do it before we
Yeah, we're going to check out the crash tolerance of the wheels, or at least started kind of getting it in my head. What's that?
Shift.
That
shift and
makes sense.
control, so it's going to be shift and control.
Cool.
And then, you press space to.
Yeah. Hopefully we won't need those. Hopefully it should just be a case of.
So no, we will, because what we'll do is we'll be belly up.
Yeah, like or vertical at least.
So we'll start off. Yeah. We'll raise it up.
Yeah.
Then we'll switch, and we'll rotate it, and then once we've rotated it, we'll land it.
Awesome. I like the visual demonstration you gave there as well. It's better than the hand signals.
That we usually do. Right, so let's recover this vessel, and we're ready to go.
Awesome.
I love
it. Now, we did lose an engineer last time, didn't we?
We lost an engineer, we've got a scientist stranded on the surface, and we've got a pilot who probably can't get out the ship because it's face down. So eventually we're probably going to have to send some sort of forklift type thing to try and flip that over.
Who doesn't want a forklift on the moon? That would be very useful. I watched the last episode that we put up this morning just in preparation. As you said, it's been a few weeks since we've done some recording. Just wanted to kind of get up to speed with what we did last time. And the pain all came flooding back. But that aside, I was as
what you missed from the video was that it took about 10 to 15 minutes of wobbling that scarab backwards and forwards.
While I was watching it though, what I was thinking was, if only we had like some sort of if we had something like this already there, it could have just like dunched it, or as you said, put some cleverly applied legs underneath just to give it a little push over. If we're really clever, we could develop some sort of self-right mechanism using legs positioned in the right place, firing them. But it's a chore in it. So
we'll send Rodrid because he's a pilot.
Cool.
Shall we just send Rodrid? We've got half a crew already there.
We don't actually need lots of crew there, do we? We just need to have the capacity there for the purposes of the contract, I think.
Yes, that's right.
Just send a pilot. Don't need anybody else. We'll make sure we've got a scientist there. We're going to aim for the crate.
I think he's an engineer. I'm not sure. I watched the video back and I'm not sure if he's an engineer or a scientist because we couldn't tell until we got them out.
Well, we want to make sure we've got a scientist there because obviously for all intents and purposes this is going to be doing a science mission.
Oh,
you bugger.
Oh. I don't remember doing that last time.
No. That might be coming through a bit loud.
I'll drop the volume on that a bit
hopefully that's alright.
Hopefully that's alright. We did do a test, but
we did the volume back up to listen to it.
And this thing has a lot more rockets than the thing that we tested to see what the volume was going to be
it's
like.
It's a noisy bugger, isn't it?
It is.
Awesome. Mind it's not really like rocking and rolling as much as the last one did. I know it's the same design, but the last one, if you remember, this was quite a clumsy launch. The initial takeoff, we ended up with a nasty bit of spin, a bit of rotation.
I mean, I've got quite a bit of rotation coming on here, but we've got extra RCS on. Remember, we've got two more RCS bits near the top, so that's probably helping balance it out. And we've still got plenty of actual monoprop in. I will turn it off in a bit, but
yeah, but I mean, certainly when we're in atmosphere and then when we're coming down to land, use as much as you need, really.
We're spinning hellishly now.
Yeah,
but it's fine. Once these solids go off, I think it'll calm.
Nice particle effects coming off the bottom there. Ooh, that was a bit close. So have you heard anything about the next sort of upcoming update? There's no, I don't think there's any kind of sort of like ETA for it, but
I haven't. I'm thinking, there's some mods out there that deal with resource gathering, like doing mining and stuff on foreign planets. And now that KSP's introduced space bases into the missions, I mean, there's no real purpose for space bases other than to complete missions. But in that mod, you would use your space base.
Collect resources, and then send something to gather them, bring them back, and then
you'd use those resources for specific components. I'm wondering if the introduction of space bases, and not space bases, sorry, planetary bases, into the Kerbal missions means that KSP has some sort of plan for a use for them. And that would be pretty boss because I mean we're building this and it's going to look cool and it's going to be great.
But it's science, but
it's not going to do
its
anything.
Purpose is finished then as soon as we've got the science. Basically, it just sits there and looks pretty. But the other thing is looking at some of the things because they've got sort of what they call the squad casts and what have you, as the development teams start kind of hinting at what they're up to. From memory, I think not long after Christmas and in early January, time of recording's mid-January, mid to late January now. It's the 20-something.
It's the 20-something.
Something.
It's the 23rd, I think. It's the 24th.
Well, you're not. Don't check the date on your phone. Keep your hands on the controls, hands on the wheel at all time. Very important. But yeah, what I was going to say before that terrifying distraction, they're talking about aerospace, the aerospace engine, or the aerodynamics engine.
Yeah, I mean, there's been
taking a leaf out of Ferrum Aerospace's book, I think, trying to make it a bit more realistic, make it so things like the nose cones and what have you, and having to factor in drag will be a little bit more kind of like realistic.
You see, every time they do something like this, I think it's just going to totally ruin the way I play.
Yeah.
Because the stuff that I make probably works despite itself.
Yeah.
The stuff that I make probably only works because the engine still has limitations.
I'm up for it though, because what I tend to do with Kerbal Space Program a lot of the time, when I'm playing around with it. Now that I've got the new PC, it's working again. The old PC, it was crashing constantly for some reason. I just couldn't fix it. But what I tend to do when I load up KSP for fancy playing, first thing I usually do is go to the space plane hangar, and I just like building interesting like orbital craft or interesting suborbital planes. That's what I like messing around with. You know?
I mean, I love messing around in there. It took me a long time. I must have put 50 hours into the game before I even started going into the space plane hangar. But I love building planes
really
now.
Good fun.
I've made a couple of single stage to orbit crafts. The stuff I've made hasn't come in that useful in terms of doing much. But I think if I get a space station in orbit where I can have a refueling point, build myself a lovely single stage to orbit, and I can zip it around to the moon and other places.
You know that idea about resource gathering or having to be able to build something that's reusable to go backwards and forwards. It's a perfect way of doing it, you know.
I mean, you saw that Kerbal short that I did, which you could view on the GonzoEwok YouTube channel, where I sort of ran out of fuel, but managed to bring
like glide it down.
Glide it all the way down.
And then snap the wings off in the water.
Oh, it wasn't a graceful landing, but everyone survived, and most of the ships survived.
Yeah, less of a landing and more of a splashdown, really. But it worked. Aye. But yeah, so there's aerodynamic stuff they're talking about. I'm not sure if that'll be next build, but it's something that they're working towards, which is pretty exciting. The other thing that they've mentioned is actually, and it's what kind of made us think about it in the first place, sound. Talking about the sound engine, they're saying they want more variety in sounds, they want it to be a little bit more polished, and I think working a little bit more on the sound engine as well, so that'll be interesting to see what happens. I think certainly when you're talking about like space simulators, you're talking about rockets, sound is a huge part of it.
It really is.
You know, it's one thing, you like to see bright flashes, people like to see explosions, people like to see shit going fast, but you like to hear it as well. You like that proper, like, raw, feel the power of the thing, So that'll be interesting to see what happens. But I think there's probably more stuff out there. I don't tend to like follow the game development hugely, but through watching other YouTubers.
I like to be surprised when there's a new patch.
Oh, well, sorry, I've just spoiled it for you, and anybody who's watching at home that avoids patches, well, sorry to you as well.
I missed the manoeuvre node there.
Yeah, we got too excited talking.
Not really. I thought the manoeuvre node was on the next pass, but
it feels weird recording in my spare bedroom where I've got everything set up. It's strange, just a change of environment. I'm not worried about the constant threat of your cats. Your missus isn't in the house. She's usually crafting when we're recording, isn't she?
Yeah, she normally sits upstairs and
does bits of her crafts.
Does arts and crafts and things like that.
My wife has went out. She's very generously left in the house for a couple of hours. She's went to do a bit of shopping, but she's got a little bit of work to do, so she's going to be working on a laptop downstairs. But she promises that she'll keep things fairly quiet, mainly because I threatened that would name and shame her in the video if she misbehaved herself. So.
We've used a lot more fuel than we normally do on the atomic motor. That atomic motor is the best motor to use, but we're not going to force people to watch these.
Yeah, I said it in the last video and I'll say it again. If you're playing yourself and you want to be efficient and you want to get stuff done, and certainly if you're certainly as a beginner, I think it makes sense to use it because it is so efficient. But when you're watching YouTube videos, yeah, again, we could speed it up and what have you, but it just makes sense just to go, let's go there faster.
Yeah.
I like fast. It's Geordie Space Program, it's what we're about. Volatile, fragile, fast. 3 words to describe.
Fragile? I think we're quite rugged.
Yeah, we're rugged until we hit the floor, and then you see the fragility of what's going on happen. Usually as things explode.
Still, though, we should have enough. We've got that other end. What is that? I forget what that other end is.
It's a poodle.
So it's not that great.
No, but
it got with down. Well, sort of got with down last time.
Yeah,
it wasn't the poodle engine's fault that we.
Yeah, it wasn't a hardware problem. It was user error.
It was user error.
Aye, that's what.
It was
happened.
The plan from the beginning was flawed. Oh, we'll just flip it.
Yeah, and I think I got a bit carried away because I kind of egged you on to do it when we're still about 30 metres. I think actually,
you know what?
The exact quote was, "We're about 30 metres up, so why don't you flip it over?" Forgetting that that's actually still quite a bit of a distance to fall.
I think I might know what one of the problems was as well. I think we had the brakes on. If we didn't have the brakes on, crap! Okay, yeah, we're a lot less efficient than when we had the atomic motor.
Balls.
We're onto the landing stage now.
But this thing should be okay if it gets for a manoeuvre, then brings us down.
I don't know, it's...
Oh, come on, 13 seconds to burn, and then we've still got a fair old chunk of it. We've got to push for it.
It does worry me that we're onto the Poodle engine already and we're still on the transfer stage though.
Yeah, but we're nearly done with the transfer stage. See? It's not bad. If we've still got a fair bit of fuel on the circular eyes, be okay.
It's freaking itself out.
Aye.
I want to get that Delta V closer to where it should be.
Yeah.
It went over a bit, but
should be okay, I think.
That's lovely. That's lovely. That 22,000
textbook. Cool.
The other game that we've been playing a lot of lately, another space-related game, we've both been playing Elite Dangerous.
Certainly how I treated myself to it, because I play a lot of indie games, and with my old PC being a little bit kind of, not so much crap, but it was getting a bit old and a bit knackered. I couldn't play any of the well, it was a 32-bit system for a start, and there's so many of the newer games that are coming out are 64-bit, so I've always been kind of, I'm a cool hipster who likes indie games. Kind of a victim of circumstance as well, because I couldn't play any of the big budget games, really. Couldn't really get them working. But Elite was me treating myself. On your recommendation as well.
Well, yeah, I mean, I probably wasn't old enough when the first Elite came out to appreciate it, so I never got into the first Elite game.
I played it a lot on my BBC.
I enjoyed the second one. Was the second one First Encounters? Is that what it was called? I forget.
Elite Frontier?
Frontier, and then it was First Encounters, the third one. But yeah, I really enjoyed those games, up until the point I got the Panther Clipper. And I got the Panther Clipper and found that I got attacked about 400 times on my way to every
That huge merchant trading vessel.
Aye. But I'm really enjoying Elite Dangerous. I'll be perfectly honest with you. I don't think it feels completely feature complete at the moment.
Yeah.
Particularly the multiplayer aspect, and to say that the ability to form wings and sort of work together as a team is coming in the next big update, which is coming very soon.
Aye.
But to me, it still feels a little bit beta. I mean, really, really enjoyable. Probably,
it's
definitely my most favourite game
so much
at the moment.
I would say, it's a bit more like kind of feature sparse. Like it's a release, but I'd like to see a little bit more depth to the game.
Well, I mean, on the surface,
really
surface, if it's an MMO,
Aye.
And you're in a persistent online world with other players, and you see other players quite regularly, but your methods of interaction with them is very limited.
Aye. Shoot them, don't shoot them.
Shoot them or don't shoot them, basically. But I think it's going to have a real extra layer of life once you can properly form wings with people and we can do missions together. And
yeah, you think of like some of the other big notable successes, if you think of something like Eve or something like that, you know. I mean, I hope it doesn't kind of go that way in a lot of respects, but that idea where you do have these almost like metagame societies forming outside of the game and the politics that's going on in amongst them, and then that's having repercussions on the game itself. That'd be really interesting to see. I hope it does take a leaf out of that book in some respects.
Yes, but I mean, one of the big things I like about it is that there is a bit of grinding involved. Unfortunately,
yeah, I've sank about 20 odd hours into it. I've attacked one person. I got into a fight that lasted 10 seconds. Somebody brought us out of hyperspace and I shot him full of holes, and then I went on my merry way. Still using the Sidewinder, just going backwards and forwards. As I was saying on camera when we're having a chat just getting set up, what I'm really loving about the game though, it appeals to us in the same way that Euro Truck Simulator appeals to us. It's like Zen, just flying through space. I love landing, you know. I bought myself not a great joystick, but like a decent cyborg joystick, and it's just so tactile, and the way the ship handles to your command, it's brilliant. Just bringing it into a space station, touching down, taking off and going somewhere else. That's what I've been doing. If I get in from work, a couple of hours just flying backwards and forwards.
I mean, it can be very relaxing.
Yeah, it is.
What I'll do is I'll consider my trade route. I've got a couple of trade routes that I do. One using rare commodities that earns a good bit of money. I don't do it very often. I mostly do bounty hunting. It's not as lucrative, but it's more fun.
Yeah.
But sometimes if I'm just can't really be bothered to do anything, I'll get the laptop out, I'll load Elite up, I'll stick something on the TV in the background.
I've been watching
videos and make myself a cuppa, and then I'll just sit and cruise through space.
I've been watching a lot of stuff on the iPad. I've had YouTube up on the iPad, so I've been watching other bits and pieces. I've actually been listening a lot. I'm a big fan of them, the old XFM podcasts with Ricky Gervais and Carl Pilkington. You're not supposed to listen to them, obviously, that's illegal activity and I don't condone it, but you can find a lot of them on YouTube, and they're all about 40 minutes to an hour long.
I don't condone it, but I do.
You can do it, but they're really, really funny. So I can usually just tune out. Like in Euro Truck Simulator, I put together like a custom playlist which had a lot of Bill Hicks's stand-up on, and a lot of his old CDs, had them saved up as audio files on the computer. And I just used to listen to Bill Hicks's stand-up when I was like weaving me merry way, like through southern France, or like nipping across to like Poland or what have you. We'll go east.
There's a certain sort of ambience to games like that, where you can barely even call them games.
You and your missus used to take the piss out of me quite regularly for being into shit simulators.
I remember I came over, you were playing one of the bus simulators. Was it the Omnibus Simulator?
Yeah, it was.
And you were showing me how cool it was because there were dozens and dozens of buttons that you could press.
Yeah, everything on your dashboard you can press.
And you pressed all the buttons to demonstrate it to me, and then couldn't get the engine started and had to spawn a new bus.
Yeah, broke the bus.
And then when you finally did spawn a new bus, and you were trying to show me how the game works, you ended up mounting the curb and running over about 20 civilians.
It happens, I didn't say I was a good bus driver. More like Freddie driving a bus.
Yeah, I wouldn't give you a job as a bus driver.
I don't want to be a bus driver, Ewok. So, what do you think of them apples?
Right, where are we landed for? That must be our...
It was the big crater. Aye.
That's where it's landed. That's on dark side. You see, I thought the moon...
Well, I don't think it rotates, but obviously it's where it's going to be.
Because it's tidally locked, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, I don't want to land on the dark side. But on the other hand, we can't really skip time forward that much, can we?
No, and we need to land fairly close to those guys because we want to put them in the working base. We can't just leave them, can we? So I have to see what we can do.
Right, so first things first then, we're going to have to set as a target.
Mind, I loved the very end of last video when we're still trying to tip the thing over and the capsule at the front just flips off like a bacon slicer and then tips up and just fell. We were in stitches. We had a good couple of... I think actually you left on a bit when we were laughing at the end of the video.
I did, yeah.
You wasn't hysterics.
That wasn't supposed to be included, but when I was listening to it back I thought, you know what, I'll just keep that bit in. I can't see enough to know exactly where to land this.
What do you mean? There's a white bit there. That's actually probably not a huge distance away. At some point we could maybe jump out and like EVA across. How are we doing for fuel? It's not too bad.
Not too bad. Could be better.
Aye. Yeah, that's... If you put down somewhere in that region, it's only going to be a short jetpack flight across, really. We should be alright with that.
We'll come down this way, so it makes sense to do my correction here.
Check that out. I think that'll be alright. I mean, if you get down close to the centre of the crater, it's more important that we get this down in one piece, than anything else. But
I'm just worried about coming down when it's so dark.
Yeah, well, we've got lights.
Now, if I remember rightly, it was about... The surface level was about 2,200 over recorded, wasn't it?
I think so. I wasn't paying much attention to the actual dials. I never do. Sorry.
I forgive you.
Well, you can nip in and check your radar altitude and work it out again as we're coming down to be on the safe side. Yeah, man. That's looking alright.
It is. Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, that burnt a chunk of fuel, but it's not insane crazy, the amount of fuel that's burning.
Yeah, we should have enough to come down nicely.
Fingers crossed. Well, I think we're coming down on the legs as well, so it's probably... You still want to make sure we'll come down nicely, but it's not appalling. It's quite a bit of fuel, that mind. 30-second burn.
25 seconds, and that'll pull over it. I accidentally deleted the maneuver node.
Silly boy.
Because I want to be directly above it. Actually, I probably want to push it out a bit more. Directly above it, and then cancel the...
Aye, and then hammer it. Hammer and tongs.
Oh, for God's sake, Ewok, what are you doing?
Third time's a charm, or fourth time's a head slap. Depends how you want to look at it. This is the worst display of clicking on little lines that I've ever seen in many a moon. Many a moon?
Many a moon? Many a moon? There's only one. Well, actually, there's two.
I'm here all week. Try the veal.
Right. I've got a maneuver node laid down.
Awesome.
So let's zip forward.
Some would say you've laid a cable. You've laid a cable on the moon.
Our electric charge isn't glitching out this time, which is good.
It's always a bonus. That was a heartbreaker and a half as well.
It was. God, we spent so long trying to fix that using
We've spent a lot of time trying to unfuck situations that haven't always been entirely our fault over the past few videos we've been recording.
Yeah, I looked that up. You know, apparently having electricity problems when you're using the physics room isn't really, really
I think
common.
You put a note on one of the videos, I think, that
did it?
Yeah. There's the other thing you put out the thing when in one of the other videos you were saying, I'm not going to see you once you get your new computer. This is the first time you have seen us since I got the new computer as well.
It is, yeah.
Right.
I mean, you could have came to the gig that my band were playing on Thursday.
Yeah,
but
congratulations! Won first round of Battle of the Bands.
Yes.
Yeah, for some reason
the
I thought you were
top
playing. I thought you were playing Friday. Honestly, mate. I thought it was a Friday, and I had plans with the wife. Went out for an all-you-can-eat Chinese buffet, and then I sat on the couch in my pants, feeling guilty. Rock and roll.
Yeah, me and Ashley haven't been very well, so we've been pigging out and breaking my New Year's diet plans.
So yeah, I didn't even make a New Year's diet plan. It's the same when I quit smoking. I didn't want to do it for quit smoking like regular tobacco cigarettes rather than like the electronic one.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't want to do it at New Year's resolution. I just think it's just setting yourself up for a failure. Like just psych yourself up. Like, you know, give yourself a couple of months run up to it and then say, right, that's when I'm going to do it.
Well, more the reason that it occurred around New Year is because we knew that we needed to, you know, change our lifestyle a bit and be a bit healthier. But when it's the run up to Christmas and New Year, you know you're going to be drinking loads and eating loads of gorgeous food and stuff like that.
Yeah, half a pound of cream and butter and everything.
That's 38 kilometres away.
Strange enough, this Christmas I lost weight. I had a horrible like vomiting and shitting bug. Where the two bodily functions happened at random at the same time. It was horrific.
We're going to significantly undershoot where we want to be near that. But that's fine, we'll just land where we land.
We can drive over to it, we've got wheels.
It might take a while to drive over to it.
Well, we'll see. We can do it. But yeah, I came down with a bug. I ended up losing weight over the Christmas, would you believe? Horrible. All the bodily fluids just leaking out of us at random. And then for Christmas dinner, it was, you know, we got married, my wife and myself, we got married over the summertime, as I keep banging on about.
I don't mean to alarm you, Gonzo, but we're only 18,000 metres up, so we're doing quite faster speed. Well, I think I'm going to have to start killing the horizontal now, even though
do it.
A long way. I can't even see where the lip of the crater is. I think we're inside the
crater. We are, mate.
Right?
We're well into it. Get with them. But yeah, me and my wife wanted to have Christmas together. First Christmas as man and wife. We said, we'll plan a lovely Christmas, just the two, who will be a bit selfish.
There's nothing selfish about that. I mean,
we both come from big families, and you know, there's obligations there as much. And I love having my family around us at Christmas as well. But we said, you know what, we're going to be a little bit guilty, and then thinking longer term. You know, if we're thinking about kids, we want to start getting some traditions together for us, and thinking about like us in the future.
Fuel is a significant issue now.
Yeah, well, just be careful. But yeah, in any event, like 23rd of December, I just ended up like vomiting and shitting all over the place. December the 24th, Christmas Eve, I lay in a coma. December the 25th, I went to visit my family in the morning for an hour. I perked up a bit, had half a plate of Christmas dinner, and then lay down again.
Oh, God.
I couldn't even drink. That's how bad I was. Well, I'm saying I couldn't even drink. I could only drink in moderation. I was that bad.
Stop using bits of metal as fuses.
There's
you
pubes.
have spares.
There's
fuses.
Pubes.
It's like on the fuse box. I've never noticed that before.
Yeah. Is this... We're quite close. But... yeah, I misread the dial. I thought the dial was saying, well, like a 10.
No, the dial hasn't started moving yet. The dial doesn't start moving until you're at 3,000.
Picking up a bit of speed here,
I'm really fucking worried. I can't see the ground. The fuel situation is appalling. We're coming in hard.
You can cut it fairly quick, but doing it at this height's just gonna be pissing fuel up against the wall, really.
I don't want to be going any faster than 100. I'm going to try and cut it down.
Oh, this is tense. And this,
in fact, I need to cut it down more because we're at 6,000, and I think it's going to come in at about
fairly sharp. Aye. Oh mate, that fuel. We're going to run out.
No, we're not.
Oh, it's so close. Tense. We're still 2,000 metres up. Ooh.
Right.
Oh, we're doing it at 4,200.
2,500.
So it's 1,200 up. That's what we're aiming for. Coming on to 2,000. Check.
1,500.
That was only 300 metres off. It's only a third of a kilometre. I mean, what does that matter when you're just working out, you know, spacey, physicsy stuff? Well, the legs out.
The legs are out. It's hard to tell because it's pitch bloody black.
Keep the legs out. 60 units of fuel. About 400 metres up now. 300. 200. I'd fucking gun it, mate. Gun it. Gun it! Where's the ground? Oh, it's coming. It's coming. I'm standing up. I'm standing up. There. It's there. It's there.
I've got a problem. Which way am I fucking moving?
Yeah, going that way. Yeah, that way. Oh! Oh, shit! Nosedive!
I can't.
Oh, no.
It's fine.
Panels.
Don't worry.
Panels.
We've got one panel left. It's fine.
I've got a horrible sense of deja vu, mate.
Yes, but we have RCS on the thing.
Will that be enough?
Bring that panel in.
We're properly
we need
upside
that.
down. We had a bit of fuel left in that. We could have maybe used it and you've just kicked it off.
It's weight. It's dead weight. Ah. Okay, we've got a problem with the design. And that it's too heavy even in this low
Yeah,
gravity.
that's what I was thinking.
And now we've got extra bits to stop it from rolling.
Oh, but that might do it, you know. Oh, shit.
Right, this is real deja vu, isn't it? I thought the RCS was going to be enough to be able to flip this thing, but evidently not, mate.
Oh, well, that's it. Oh, that's better than it was last time. Oh, my giddy aunt.
And you know what? I couldn't see the ground.
Yeah,
and
we picked up a bit of horizontal movement as
I
well.
I thought we're coming down too quick, so I just gunned it. As you say, we picked up that horizontal movement, and as a result, I lost control.
I mean, it's close.
And the plan with the RCS has totally failed because it's too heavy.
We're on a slight hill. Don't know if you can even like spin it around to face a bit further down on the hill. When you're rolling that way, it's nearly there, you know.
It's not really nearly there.
Fuck sticks.
It's never going to get over that leg.
Fuck sticks. So we've now got another dying beetle on the moon, about 18 kilometres away from another dying beetle, which is in pieces.
And we're just hemorrhaging cash trying to do this.
Yeah, this is boggin. Is what
Oh,
this is.
I feel bad.
You should feel bad. I feel bad. You should feel bad. Viewers probably feel bad. We all feel bad. It's those fucking wheels. Ruining the whole show is what they're doing. Wheels. Bright idea was that. That's not going to do it, mate. We're just doing what we did last time. Oh shit, that nearly did do it. You know what happens though? You keep doing this.
The whole thing's just going to fall to bits.
Yeah. Like kicking off like RCS wouldn't help, would it? Not RCS, sorry, the SAS, because that'll be trying to hold it down. Yeah. I think we tried this last time and it gave away a little bit more and that's what ended up splitting it, but, you know, I'd rather flip my wig than just leave it here. Woo! Oh, that's so close, you know, mate. I have got that slight downhill here. I can't believe we're making people watch more minutes of this shit, mind.
I can't believe we've essentially just made people watch exactly the same episode as last time. Okay, that didn't even move that time.
Yeah, only this time with RCS that achieved nothing apart from making it look as though the capsule's farting. Nah, it's those wheels. We should have put freaking legs on it. That was the plan.
I never expected it would get down intact if we crashed, because last time it kind of blew a little bit to bits.
Oh,
See, if we had a leg there, we could have rolled it over.
We're going to have to put a fork in this one, mate. It's just shite.
It is. Alright, well, I guess this is something that we're going to have to practice away from Geordie Space Programme before we come back and try it again, which will be in a few weeks' time.
We're really sorry that this has kind of went the same way, ladies and gentlemen, but live recording, this is kind of what happens, and we can't really skip episodes, because then you kind of lose a bit of the narrative thread, such as it is. If you've enjoyed the video, we always appreciate if people like the video, although on this one, it would be an act of charity more than anything else. Comments though, tell me how shit we are, always appreciated. And I think with that, we'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.
Bye bye.